So, fourth game. What
Boom!
do we got going on?
Mr. Black, let me tell you what we've got going on right now.
Oh my god. Mage.
Blazes has got to pull out the Mage deck.
Yeah.
Well, we only had so many options left.
Yeah.
We all knew what he was using.
Yeah.
We all knew it.
Well, we've already talked about MajorAwesome's rogue deck. Adam, let's talk a little bit about Mage before we jump into the fourth game.
Alrighty.
Looks like iBlazes is going with a standard Mage deck, and he's going to rely heavily on Fireballs, Flame Strikes, Mana Worms, and everything else in between.
This is what when I looked at it, this is a pretty classic Mage deck in that it is not a full spell power cheese deck. It's not a full freeze cheese deck. It is just using some value cards with the Mage stuff, but more importantly, he's got, instead of Pyroblast, he's relying very heavily on Fireballs and Flame Strikes to do his major board damage for him. He's got the Mana Worms in there. I will say that looking at the rest of his deck, the Mana Worms don't seem to make a hell of a lot of sense, because normally you want to have a lot of lower cost spells in there, but never underestimate the power of the Mana Worm. Let's hit that button. And jump right in! And so it begins. Up first, look at that. Boom. 2 Mana Worms right out of the gate.
Oh my god.
2 Mana
and
Crimson.
Arcane Missiles to boot.
Yep. You take that and you run with it, sir.
Holy sweet mother tits.
You take that and you run with it, because you get Mana Worms, 2 of them out on the field. First go. The only unfortunate part is that he's up against a rogue, which means that he will, he's going to be okay here. But it's actually kind of risky against a rogue to play low health cards right out of the gate.
Dude, this is such a beautiful
Look
opening.
at that. Look at that.
He played a Mana Worm, used the crystal, got +1, played the second Mana Worm, and next he'll be able to use Arcane Missiles if he so chooses to do so.
So the best that Major can hope for right now is just to do what he did. He's going to wait for Deadly Poison next turn.
Yep.
And he's going to get rid of one of these Mana Worms.
Needs to.
But until then, he's instantly going to use this. It's 3 damage to the face. Plus,
and a buff, dude.
He'll get a buff.
So much damage.
So that's 8 damage turn 2.
You're friggin' right, that is. And that's turn 2, 8 damage, and those 2 Mana Worms are looking sexy.
Absolutely. Now Major is going to be able to get rid of both of them. He's going to attack one, combo the other, but they have done their job.
Yep.
They've done their job. They've done 8 damage.
He's gonna take another 2 to the face, so 10 in total.
Yep, they've forced a poison and a combo eviscerate just to get rid of them, which is a pretty seriously awesome trade. He's gonna get the swamp ooze out. He's gonna get rid of that.
That's very well played.
He's had to say, first time he got the ooze to actually do something
yeah, instead of just playing him like a normal minion.
You know, it took me all the way to Diamond before I actually ended up being able to, not because I didn't have the ooze in my deck, but before the ooze actually ended up being used to get rid of a friggin' weapon.
So sour. So sour. Alright, looks like iBlazes is going to be using the Juggler. And he's going to deal
one of these is going to die.
Oh, that is RNGesus right there.
Both of them die anyway.
Yeah.
That's actually better, because that card only has 1 damage, the other one had 2, so he would have lost his ooze.
Actually, you know what?
So,
RNGesus kind of
no, it's in his favor. He's okay. Right now, he's looking to get that SI agent out, because he'll be able to do 2 damage and clear Spell Power or Juggler. He's likely to get rid of Juggler because a lot of his cards are going to be low health early on. He's just looking for a way to do that. I would just play Sinister Strike, maybe even Eviscerate, because then he can get rid of Spell Power and the Knife Juggler.
Yeah, that seems like probably the best play.
Yep.
Major's really starting to calculate this. And there's
one.
And, okay.
What in the
that was a
fuck, Major?
That was a pretty bad play.
Why?
I think what you said would have been most certainly the
best.
best.
I mean, I know why he did it, but he's still... Here's the thing. He got rid of it so that the ooze couldn't just get rid of his guy.
It works, but I probably would have went with the other way to be a bit safer.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Because right now he's still going. He's not going to want to go over the top because he's going to lose the next turn anyway. So he's going to have to get rid of that spell power now anyway.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, that was very risky because if Blazes had,
he just
if
didn't
he had Frostbolt, then he got nothing out of that card.
He just didn't. You can't take big risks like that. Sometimes you just have to play it safe, especially when you're on 18 health to begin with.
Yeah, he's just gonna ping him here and get rid of that, I would imagine. He's going to play that. He's going to get that out, and then he's going to ping and attack.
Yep. Oh, he's going to go over the top, obviously.
Yep, freezing him up. Can't use his weapon.
That's very smart. I like it.
That's a very powerful mage card, That water elemental.
That was a good card to get right now.
One of my favorite cards in the game.
Oh, and double buffs him up to turn into a 5/5. Going to be able to get rid of that 4/4. That +1 spell power is gone, and he keeps him alive.
Flame Striker!
Damn. Oh, God.
Flame Striker!
Oh, there's the I am sorry, dealing 4 damage to everything on the board except for the hero. And he's going to take 3 to the face and frozen yet again. Beautiful card. And this is where a mage really excels. Once they start snowballing, it's so hard to come back.
Yeah, no,
it is.
You're gonna have a bad time trying to get rid of this stuff. These Sinister striking everything as much as possible, getting that damage in, making sure it's not a flawless victory.
Yeah, but it's pretty much over, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, there are ways that Major can come back from this, but he still has his Argent Commander. He's going to be able to charge kill that water elemental, and really,
sour
speaking of Argent Commanders,
Divine, he's going to be able to take out the Drake, I think it's called. Some kind of Drake.
Yep.
And is going to be frozen again. This is what, 4 turns in a row where his hero's been frozen, not able to use any. See,
now he's going to decide. No.
Get rid of no. He really needed to get rid of that damn card. Well, I don't know. I don't know the thought process there.
Well, I think he's hoping that he's going to tank that 3/3 into his 4/3 to kill him.
Doesn't need to.
But now he doesn't need to. Now he can ping it, and now he's going to get frozen again. And he lost the game because of that.
Yeah, he really needs to get rid of these cards.
If he got rid of that freeze, you know, the 4s, whatever, but you can get rid of it the next turn, yeah, you're going to be hurting for certain.
Yeah.
But now, you know, you would have been in a much better...
I probably would just play my Grizzly here.
No, that's actually better because now he has to tank both of those in unless he top decks something. He has to tank both of those plus a ping to get rid of them. Unless, again, something like this ends up coming out on the field.
Yeah, and there's the +1.
Now he can just
+1.
attack once and ping and gets his 3.
Get frozen again.
And Bob's your uncle.
And he's
Benny's your aunt.
Yeah, he's gonna get frozen, and the next turn he's gonna get pinged one more time, and that's gonna be GG.
Yep, no, that's it. He loses just to that. Spell power of the mage gonna take that out and ping him for 1 damage to the face.
Yep.
And we're gonna go to a game 5, Mr. Black.
We are going to a game 5, and there is the well played from Major. Just not getting rid of. I don't even remember the name of that fucking card, but just did not get rid of that card. That freezes
the water
up
elemental.
It touches it. Yeah,
water elemental. Yeah, no, the water.
Didn't get rid of it.
The water elemental is no joke. It's no, especially if you're running like ice spikes in a mage deck. An ice spike, what that is for people who don't know what it is essentially if whatever is frozen, whether that's a hero or an enemy monster, if they are frozen and you use it, it doesn't freeze it anymore. It does 4 damage. So you get a couple of ice spikes in a deck, you have something like that out on top of any other freezing cards like Cone of Cold and things like that, and your damage board clear is insane. But in that case, those water elementals are very useful for attacking heroes specifically, to shut down weapons in warrior decks and rogue decks like we just saw there.
It's just proven. Couldn't do anything for about 7 turns.
There it is.
And Major just refused to get rid of it.
Yeah, well, I think he was really hoping that he was going to sack that card into something else, which he would have had to, but he kept getting just a decent enough card to keep that going in perpetuity. Yeah. And there it was.
I mean, after the 3rd time, though, I'd been like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to kill the damn water elemental.
I don't care what's happening. Just get it done.
I don't know. I think Major could have played a few things differently that game, which may have turned the tides, but
Major, how dare you be bad?
You never know. The Flame Strike was the big game changer. That time around. That's what you're really going to be scared of. But let's jump into the final game. We are at a game 5. Game 5.
Game 5!
Let's do it. And we are going to see from Major a mage. So it is going to be a mage
mirror match.
The thing is, with Major's mage deck, he has Pyroblasts in his deck. And in case you guys don't know what a Pyroblast is,
it's a big dick.
It is a huge dick. Does 10 damage over the top.
For 8 mana.
For 8 mana. And that's not including if you don't have any +1 spells out on the field.
Yep.
So, I mean, it can do right up to 11, 12 damage, but for the most part, you're really not going to have +1 spells. In a Mage deck, there's like 1 or 2 cards that you really can benefit.
And where I will say this while we're looking at his deck, and you guys can study this, is that my problem with Pyroblast is that it is 8 mana, meaning stuff like almost any Mage spells, really, except for like Fireball and stuff, are all like 2 mana or 1 mana.
Yep.
So you can do a Pyroblast, follow it up with a Frostbolt, and do 11 damage.
Shit tons of damage.
Or no, sorry. 13 damage in 1 turn.
Yeah, Frostbolt does 3, and then
Pyroblast does 10.
Does 10, and that's only 10
13
mana.
damage, 10 mana, no spell power.
Yeah, and some mages even get
broken.
Some mages even save their coins for late game.
Yeah.
And will
pop it on 9.
Harder.
Yeah. No, that's why I think Pyroblast needs to be changed.
But we can't
9 mana, 10 mana.
We cannot complain about balance right now because it
Beta!
is a mirror matchup.
And it's mirror matchup, yes.
So they both have the same imbas.
Blazes doesn't actually own Pyroblast.
Well, isn't that unfortunate for Blazes?
That is unfortunate for Blazes.
Well, let's see if the Pyroblast comes into play here in game number 5. Let's get ready to jump into it.
Let's get ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the final game.
Oh, yeah.
Polymorph, Azure Drake, 2 novices, Crazed Alchemist, Water Elemental, and Fireball on the other side.
What a draw here. Which side is this guy on the left? Is this iBlazes?
Well,
I think you got him kind of mixed up.
No,
yeah, okay, there we go.
Blazes I think is always on the right.
Okay, well, Major has got a crazy good drawing hand to open up. He's got 2 Novice Engineers, which means he's going to draw a card every time that bad boy goes
First 2
out.
turns.
And there is the +1 for the spell power with that Mage that he just picked up, and it is just a 3 mana card as well. He's going to be able to play another Engineer next turn to be able to pick up another card, which I'm sure he's going to do, and that is exactly what is done. He's going to deal the 1 damage, and he also got himself a pint-sized summoner up top. iBlazes still holding out. His drawing hand, not the greatest.
No, he doesn't have anything to really, well, he doesn't have anything to really do here. He's got 4 mana next turn. He can Alchemist, swap the health attack on that, and ping it if he needs to. But ultimately, this is a bit of an awkward situation. He might even Frostbolt here, the pint-sized summoner.
Needs to get rid of that.
Now, if he realizes that Mage's deck is more reliant on spells, he might not worry about the pint size so much. But this is how a spell deck works. You're gonna have a lot of this is actually what he's gonna do, or not. What
the hell was that? He just wanted to play the card.
So
okay.
The smarter thing would have been there to swap the health, like I said, of that one, and just ping it, and then just whatever. Because right now he's gonna. Yeah. Wow, RNGesus.
Yeah, all 4.
All 4 to the face.
Right to the face, and that's really kind of shitty. If one would have just hit the other minion, he would have been able to finish it off with the Engineer. So that's kind of bad. I mean, it's always cool you do 4 damage to the face. Would have been nice to at least get 1 off on that minion. And now here comes a buff, going to make it a 3-3. Going to be able to get rid of that 2-2.
Nice.
And suddenly, iBlazes is turning this game around.
Now, this is likely going to be a scenario where Major is considering a ping on that 3-1, but he's looking at his other options. He does have 2 Arcane Explosions. He can get a plus spell damage out. Now he's going to be able to get rid of both and get rid of the third.
That was awesome. I love the fact that he played that Mage, giving him +1 spell power, and then playing it, dealing 2 damage to everything instead of 1. That was a really nice play there by Major.
Oh, it was a good, nice bit of board clear. He's going to get the Argent Commander out here. Right now, Major is actually doing fine. And the reason he's doing fine, even though...
it looked bad.
Even though it looked bad for a moment there, is how a spell deck works is essentially... 1, 2, 3.
Oh my god, that is so unfortunate for iBlazes, taking 3 out of 4 to the face on that minion, and that is like worst case scenario for him.
It is, because here's the issue. I would have gotten rid of that with a Fireball, and here's my reasoning behind this: is essentially how a spell deck like Mage's works is he does chip damage over time. Eventually, he pulls a Pyroblast, and then he kills you in 1 turn. All he has to do is make sure your side of the board is clear.
Yep.
Wow, he accidentally just pinged himself. That was really unfortunate.
That might actually come to bite him in the ass there. He's got an arcane missile sitting behind.
He really needs to keep Major's board clear, because if he keeps Major's side of the board clear, then he's at least on even footing and he doesn't get chipped down so far. He is so close at 18 health. He is so close with a 4-3 on the board. He's going to be down to 14 health if he doesn't kill it this turn.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a really big... See, now he's polymorphed it.
It's unfortunate. The RNG there kind of shit all over him. Even if it would have done 2 damage to the Drake, he would have been able to ping it from the top. But he was forced to use that poly, which I'm sure he would have loved to have been able to hold on to. Major with a nice board clear there.
I would have just pinged and kept my Arcane Explosion. Same mana cost. But, you know.
Yeah.
Yellow swag.
It works both ways.
Yellow swag.
And here comes the Flame Strike, going to deal 4 damage to everything. He has no choice but to play this right now, and it's unfortunate to use it on such a shitty board. But
here's the issue. Blazes is going to end up playing that Mage for the Fireball power, and Major is going to get it, and there's
the
Power Blast.
The Pyroblast,
and there
dealing
it is.
10 damage over the top, down to 7. He still has a Flame Strike in hand. How does iBlazes take this
Unfortunately, he pulled, trolly enough, Counterspell. He now has used it, and there it is. That's what's on the board right now, Counterspell, which would have stopped that Pyroblast. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And now, look what happened.
Oh my god, I said, and he gets a copy.
Like I said, and Major is going to Cone of Cold, possibly even twice here, because of his spell that
and there's the Fireball with the +1 on the card that he copied, and Major deals 7 damage. Oh no, Counterspell brings it out. I thought that was it.
No.
I thought that was it. Totally forgot about the Counterspell.
Never play your big spell cards against a fellow mage until you've, if possible, use a shittier spell first.
Well, that was a value Counterspell card, which is going to keep him alive in the game.
He needs to get rid of that spell damage.
Here comes a Fireball.
Pronto.
Here comes a Fireball. He's going to get rid of that. And then another Fireball dealing 7 over the top. And this is suddenly becoming a much closer game. He still has a Flame Strike in his hand. And he's got 2 minions out on the field.
Well, here's the unfortunate bit, is that we're going to see this, and then this Cone of Cold is going to pretty much wrap things up for him. He's just going to have to ping here if necessary. There's another spell, +1.
Yeah, and he's got a Flame Strike in his hand. It's a Flame Strike versus Flame Strike life here.
Yeah, well,
and
there it goes.
And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to play any other minions. Oh, there's a Mana Worm. It's not going to be a huge help to him at this stage in the game. But this is actually a relatively close game. Too bad iBlazes didn't have a Pyroblast in his deck.
No, because it would have been game-changing, right? I mean, that's what you had to be careful here. He'd be in a lot better situation if he had just used that Fireball earlier to get rid of that Azure Drake to keep the damage down on the board. Then he'd be sitting at a much prettier place right now. He still looks like he's in the clear, but he's got a Polymorph and a Flame Strike on the other side of the board. And he's going to get a buff.
It's going to buff the mana.
And look, anything that comes out the next turn can get double polyed.
I mean, shit, he could have just double... Yeah, well, actually, this is the best way of doing it, because now, you're like you just said, he's
whatever
got double
comes out,
poly. It doesn't matter. It's dying.
Doesn't matter.
Mana Worm's going to kill him next turn.
Yeah, he's going to get a taunt. Unfortunately, that's not going to be good enough. The Polymorph is going to wrap it up. Blaze is putting in a valiant effort here, almost bringing it back, but just not quite enough.
Yeah. So
you have to be so efficient versus a spell deck.
Here's the poly. Here comes the ping, and then the mana. Oh, man.
Double. Oh, he's just mana.
He's just mana-ing him now.
Oh, just mana.
That BM.
Oh, that mana.
And there's the well-played MajorAwesome taking the series 3-2 in a pretty high action-packed series. Very, very close. And unfortunately, Major just with the better cards. And this is sort of where spending money in the game and getting packs really helps out.
Well, he didn't spend money to get that Pyroblast.
Oh, well,
Major's got it.
Yeah, but I mean, he had what, the legendary in there.
Yeah, which he also got in the pack as well, just randomly.
Yeah.
I don't think Major spent any money on the game yet.
Okay.
No.
Well,
I mean, again, please don't send that delusional
iBlazes had a very, very basic deck.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Blazes hasn't been playing as long as Major, though, is the thing. So he's not had enough time to unlock as much. He does have some pretty good cards, though. Blazes does have perfectly fine cards.
Oh, I'm not saying that, but you could definitely see the difference.
Well, Pyroblast changes everything.
It really does. I mean, it's 10 fucking damage.
I've spent a bunch of money on the game. Pyroblast still whoops my ass. Like, it doesn't matter. Pyroblast is just, it's, in my opinion, a really, really ridiculous card right now.
That and Mind Control?
You know what? Mind Control isn't even as bad as Pyroblast.
I've died from it way too.
You know why? Because all I do with mind control now is that if I'm playing big cards and you keep a priest board down. Here's the secret to mind control. All right, guys, from a quasi decent Masters 3 player, you keep the board down as best as you can early. Even if it looks like you're putting yourself behind to do so. If you have a card that you want to play, that's a big card that you're likely going to get mind controlled on. All you have to do is maintain a board that can kill the card that's going to get mind controlled. I've done that every time, and I've not lost a game to a mind control since.
Yeah, but it's easier. It's easier said than done because you know it's one of those things. I mean,
it increases your chances.
You know, John Madden. That sounds like a
in practice,
sounds like a pretty damn
in practice
logical way of doing
that's what
things.
I've done.
But I mean,
does it always work? No, but you're never going to have a strategy that works 100% of the time in a card game because it's random, right? Like you have a lot of aspects of random, but if you keep that in mind, it increases your odds drastically versus what were used to be considered super ridiculous. I mean, Priest for me is more overpowered because of stuff like the 1/3 card draw, and on top of that,
whites, man, the fucking kill. Anyway, let's not talk. Let's not talk too much about about priests. Because there was no priest.
No.
Maybe next week when there's some priests in,
we can talk about it. We can talk
about it then.
But until then, we don't need to. Well done by both gentlemen. 3-2, going in the favor of Major ever so slightly. He had 1 health in that game.
Damn, that was a close game. That was 1 health got him the series.
I did. It pulled through.
Yep.
It pulled through.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed more Hearthstone. Let us know in the comments below if there's anything that you'd like to see us improve on. Thank you for supporting it. Hit that like button. Go and share on the forums, Reddit, whatever. Spread the word about what we're doing here. And thank you for bearing with us as we continue to learn the game.
Absolutely.
Just as much as you guys. And hopefully we'll be able to have some more basic stuff up for you in the near future. Adam is still working out kinks on how to present the whole thing. And then hopefully in the near future we'll have a way for you guys to send in your games.
Your own videos.
And maybe we'll get super lucky and Blizzard will make a replay system.
God help me, I hope they do that soon.
Because if that's the case, there'll be a lot of Hearthstone material on the channel.
I mean, I really,
it's going to happen.
Really hope that's going to be a thing. Until that happens, ladies and gentlemen, and until next time, this has been Novawar.
And MaximusBlack.
We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Peace.